So this is pretty much what I do, by the way, to kill time at work, is I peruse tabloid news and just look for the most fucked up stories to talk on here. The other one I found, and I feel like this always ties back to the hey, that's the guy I had English class with. Financier found dead after gay bondage hookup went bad. That's not what you want your obituary to say.
Financier is good, though.
The financier,
This is a man of great wealth.
Financier found dead, you can deal with that. No, maybe not so good that you're dead.
It's not bad.
We're all going that way anyway. It's the after gay bondage hookup went bad that you're kind of like, did you have to put that in print?
Could you just put it in the story?
Couldn't you have just said like after kind of things just didn't work out between him and a friend?
Or financier found dead after hookup.
Or just you probably want to leave out the gay bondage part, but a Brooklyn financier was found naked and dead in his Tony Dumbo pad after a gay bondage hookup went awry.
Hate when that happens.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like if you're having a gay bondage hookup, you have to assume that there's some possibility that it might go
more likely
awry.
than not, it's going to go
awry. Neil Rodney Smith, 57, of the this is the word. Like, when they give the detail, like, not even like, Neil Smith or Neil S. Neil Rodney Smith, 57, CEO of the investment firm Infraxis. Now you know who exactly it was. Like, that's like getting put out there on Facebook and shit, and you're looking at like mutual friends. It's like, I know Neil. Yeah, we're in the debate club together. He was discovered laying on his back in a bed with a wet towel stuffed in his mouth and a pillow over his face inside of apartment at 1 Main Street. I loved it when they give the exact details to the like, yep, saw him going in there. He went online and hooked up with some guy, and whatever they were doing, he died, a police source says. So even law enforcement professionals are just laying this out in the most blunt terms to let you know that this guy died during a gay hookup.
We don't have a photo of this guy?
We do. He is actually, I'll show it to you right. He looks like what a financier, he just looks like a dude who has a job. Middle-aged dude. Could be your dad, could be mine.
Yeah.
Same guy, actually, but,
Yeah, trendy glasses. All right.
Very trendy glasses.
The polar opposite, I would say, of Mr. Thomas McClellan.
Yes, indeed, the polar opposite of Thomas McClellan. So it says, not long before his death, a roommate heard a guy in there with him. He heard them having sex.
Thank you.
I feel like
Product placement.
If you're the roommate, are you a little? You gotta get that great product placement in there.
Yeah.
But is Buffett gonna be pissed that you went from Landshark to Corona Light?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't actually have any deals with any of these companies, any of these brands.
Buffett makes too much of a full calorie beverage for you. You prefer the light?
I can place whoever I want right here.
You got to drink it every time you drink it. It should be labeled.
Oh, it's always labels out.
Heineken. I love a good Heine. Don't you sass me, woman. You'll be keistering this bottle before the afternoon is through. How about the roommate?
Yeah, because I remember reading this article and wondering. I was like, who was the roommate? Someone that he just ran in a circle with? Was it someone that he hooked up with? Was it this guy's too old to have a roommate?
I know.
That's what confused me.
And yeah, but I guess, that's odd. I think there's a whole world of like sort of like these gay wealthy deviants that we don't run in, where they have their roommates in like nice apartments and they do all sorts of like really aggressive like I've heard there's actually a scientist who has a theory out there. It's been widely debunked, but it's an interesting theory that the reason AIDS is so prevalent in the gay community is that because of all the meth and partying that they do, they have weakened immune systems already, so they're more susceptible to that type of thing. So there's this entire world of like fucking homoerotic sexual deviance that you and I think probably because we're too good looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you know I'm straight, because I never get sick.
They'd be inviting us over all the time, and we'd have a monopoly over it. They'd be like, we want these guys at our party, fuck everybody else. But if you're the roommate, first of all, don't you feel kind of left out that there's gay bondage going on the other side of the wall, and they didn't even think to invite? Because obviously they're not ashamed of what's going on if they're doing it while you're home.
Yeah, like it's probably, well, but maybe the roommate does it too. You know, maybe they trade nights. Maybe he just wasn't doing it that night. But
having a male sexual appetite, the way I see it is, when I think of like if Kimmy was like, hey, the next time we hook up, a couple of my friends want to join, I'd be like, yeah, the more the merrier. So if you apply that same sexual appetite to the gay bondage community, which I have to think that if you're involved in aggressive gay bondage while the roommate is home, you probably have a like King Kong sized appetite for sex. So you would want so how spurned does he's the number one suspect as far as I'm concerned.
You think he did it because he wasn't invited?
Yeah. Maybe the guy, maybe Neil Rodney Smith, 57, CEO of investment firm Infraccess, takes a little post-gay bondage nap. He's lying there on his back, and roommate sees like some well-hung Cuban guy leave, but he leaves behind the...
Wait, does he know that he's well-hung when he's leaving? Like, does the guy walk out butt naked, or is...
Look, you're not arranging hangout hookups with guys with tiny cocks.
I guess, yeah.
He sees Julian leave. He realizes that Neil Rodney Smith, 57, CEO of the investment firm Infraccess, is in there taking his post-fuck nap, and he sneaks in, fucking straps a ball gag into his mouth and puts the pillow over his face and basically punishes him for not allowing him to punish him earlier during the sanctioned punishing of the gay bondage event, and winds up killing him, and then just calls the cops and is like, hey, I think my roommate's dead. I think he died during gay bondage. It's totally how he died.
That's the headline. That's what you just
get the post on the phone. He's got a guy at it's like in Godfather when they're trying to like work their. It's like we got reporters at every newspaper, right? I mean, this guy, he was a financier. He was involved in gay bondage in the middle of the afternoon. Who's to say he didn't have it coming? So he's just calling, he's working his contacts, and all of a sudden it goes from him killing someone to his roommate being offed by well-hung Julian.
Yeah. Neil Rodney Smith, too. That's a strong name.
You think that's a man of success, dude. This guy was probably... You think
he didn't live up to the name.
Probably projected a very wholesome image on social media and shit. That's always the fun part, to see the regular guy on social media, and then you're finding out that he was getting... he was getting his asshole plowed while he had a ball gag in his mouth, and you're like, wow, that guy...
It's always great when you look these people up and see them. Like, I bet Thomas McClellan has a Facebook account that it may be deactivated now or it's privatized now.
One of the first things I do with a lot of these stories is look them up immediately, and I think a lot of times like family members like have them shut down or whatever. Yeah. But what's his name? Have you followed that case in Philadelphia, the DiNardo, the murders?
I remember like reading about it the week that it happened.
Right. So for the uninitiated who haven't followed this, this has been a big case, or it was in July. I think they're awaiting trial now in the Northeast, but right outside of Philadelphia in Bucks County, home of my godson's father, Andy Wilkins, Bucks County resident. He, for the record, had nothing to do, as far as we know, with this series of homicides. But
as far as we know,
hey. There's always more evidence to surface. This dude DiNardo and his cousin lured 4 dudes. One of them that they went to high school with. How about that? Huh. That would be like you just getting
offed. It's like too close to home, though.
Yeah, getting offed randomly by some guy that you had fucking 5th period chemistry with.
If Dan Clemente just murdered me.
If anyone has it in him,
It's
Dan Clemente.
Yeah.
Probably, if you're worrying about who might be a homicidal maniac, the answer is Dan Clemente.
Yeah, that guy. The
one who enjoys jazz music and Rangers hockey. That guy.
And Adult Swim and Cartoon Network.
But anyway, this guy and his cousin invite these guys back to their farm under the auspices of selling them marijuana, and then just they shot them, and they buried their bodies in a big tank and tried to set them on fire. They call it the pig roaster. They tried to set them on fire in this big metal tank. That didn't work, so they just covered him with dirt, and eventually they found him and they confessed. But I found that dude's Facebook page, and I was scrolling through all his old shit, and it just looked like he was the kind of, like a...
I mean, did he have... You go ahead.
His pictures were just like, it was like him and his family fishing and shit. It was a lot of him, like, being like, yo, I got concert tickets for tonight, who wants to come? And nobody replying.
One of those guys, yeah. I never get people who are putting shit like that out on Facebook. I don't want to go to a concert with you.
Yeah.
Or a fucking Yankees game. You have an extra seat to a Yankees game.
What, you didn't have friends? You're enticing me by not having friends?
I don't have friends. I don't want to be friends with you who doesn't have friends also.
Send me a fucking private message. You want me to... I don't want to... I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll horn in on your fucking game. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, like, I perused his... It's, like, so weird, because you're like... Oh, now this guy's wearing an orange jumpsuit and sitting in a cell somewhere.
Did he have posts in between the murders? Like, would he say, like, hey, he murdered someone? Because it was like I feel like it happened over the span of a few days.
It did.
Like, was he selling tickets in between the murders?
He got, so I guess he got...
He had like Aerosmith tickets that he was selling.
He had just picked them up down in Houston.
Couldn't go because he had to dig a grave.
Top priority of the summer. His priority got moved to number 2. Oh, Jesse! Uncle Jesse, Patches is here. Yeah. What's happening, Jesse?
I've seen him at Retro Hoboken before.
Shout out, Retro Fitness, shout out. All the buff boys are hanging in the backyard today. We're talking about gruesome homicide outside Philadelphia. But yeah, he got picked up on a weapons charge, and then he got released, and then picked up like 24 hours later. And in the interim, after getting released, he was like, man, real messed up stuff going on in Bucks County now. Wonder what happened to those guys.
He wrote that?
Yeah, like some shit like that. His Facebook page has been taken down, but they now have a page up that's dedicated to the case, and it's just all about how this guy was like a fucking creep ball. They said like he used to message chicks like just trying to get into their pants, like give me that pussy, like
wow,
yeah. Wow. And if you see his face, you're like he was like he had like chicks and stuff when he was younger, but he must have had like an accident and just lost it a few years ago. So they said he was on like all sorts of psychiatric meds, and he got all puffy and blown up, and he's got like his teeth are like neon yellow, not like coffee stain. Like a lot of people get like even mine are a little bit coffee stained sometimes, but like neon yellow teeth, like a fucking monster. Like you look at him,
Farkas.
Yes. Yeah. So help me God, he had yellow eyes. Fucking Scut Farkas. But yeah, you look at his picture and you're like, oh, this motherfucker is totally capable of offing 4 of his classmates in a bogus weed deal. But yeah, I think the lesson to be learned here is that if you are going to engage in gay bondage, you want to do it when your roommate isn't home.
Yeah.
So you don't get murdered.
That's the lesson.
What do you do, though, if you're sitting in the living room, like eating a bowl of ramen, catching up on fucking Always Sunny, and you just hear the sounds of your roommate with a gag in his mouth getting whacked with a spiked paddle by some guy with a massive cock?
I would think the reaction would be to... Maybe you take the ramen with you? I don't know. Maybe you leave the ramen.
I'm going to eat this on the stoop.
Depends how big your apartment is. If you have enough space, you go to like your room.
Go out for a pack of cigarettes.
You go for a stroll. But gay bondage, I have a feeling that gay bondage isn't something where people are. I'm just gonna say having gay bondage, and it's like one of them prematurely just like comes and it's over. Like gay bondage lasts. There's lasting power to it.
That's a lengthy period of time. I feel like
that's hours. At least an hour.
I almost feel like the bond, like the part where they're whacking each other. That's almost like batting practice, and then ejaculation is like game time when they have like a full bout of gay sex. So anyway,
moving on. I gotta ask, what would be the etiquette if I had to take a tinkle? Could I tinkle?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm a quick tinkler.
Yeah, go for it. Pop that in. Kimmy, just jump in here for a second. Give me someone to bullshit with.
You gotta have a strong female lead.
Yeah, well, we don't have one of those, but we do have Kim, so get over here.
Does anyone need anything?
If there are any more brews up there.
There's no more in the cooler outside. I don't know.
Do you need anything?
No, there's no more. I don't know.
Is there? Yeah, grab some sodas for us when you come back. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Jong-poon joining the podcast, the biggest slut in the Pacific Rim. How is your bitches get bukkakied? Is that that's your most recent video where all those guys jerked off on your face?
Uh-huh.
How's is that one? When's that one hitting store shelves?
That is a special edition. That'll be coming out Labor Day.
Labor Day. You gonna do a Labor Day drop? You couldn't. Did Taylor Swift beat you to the punch? You were gonna try to get it out this week. Tay.
Yeah.
You got faced. What You have roommates. What would you do if you were just sitting on the couch? What's your favorite TV show to watch?
Seinfeld, probably.
Like you're watching Seinfeld. What's your favorite episode?
Wow, that's a rough.
Just pick a fucking episode.
Favorite episode. Fusilli Jerry.
Because you're silly. So all right. So you're sitting on the couch. You're eating a bowl of ramen.
Why am I eating ramen? Why was that the
fucking know? What do you eat? What do you eat?
Probably buffalo chicken tenders.
Okay, you're eating buffalo chicken tenders, and all of a sudden, you have a male roommate. All of a sudden, the door opens, and it's him and some Cuban guy with a big cock.
Uh-huh.
And they walk in, they close the door, they're like, no.
His cock isn't out, right?
That's
I just assume.
Big strapping Cuban guy. We're going to assume he's got a big cock.
Okay.
And they close the door, and before they close the door, your roommate gives you a nice sassy, no girls allowed. And like a few minutes later, you just hear all sorts of straps and whipping and some guy just getting his ass pummeled with a spiked paddle and the sounds of obvious gay bondage going on. Do you just keep sitting out there and eating your snack and watching, what's the deal with, or do you leave?
I would think that I would probably finish what I was eating. How long does buffalo? Would I have 2 buffalo chicken tenders? Probably doesn't take that long.
You're only on what planet? First of all, do they give you an order of just 2 buffalo chicken tenders?
Oh no, I go to Acme and I get the pre-made buffalo chicken tenders.
Oh, so you're parsing out the serving for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's weird that you would only have 2, but okay.
2 to 3.
3 I could understand. That's like I feel like you go to a restaurant, you eat like 6.
These are this size.
Okay, in any case. So 3 maybe but maybe you've just sat down and started the episode. Maybe it's a 2-part episode. Maybe you're watching the finale and they have to go through the first 30 and then they have the trial for this. You don't want to miss the second part. Mm-hmm. But do you stick around through the sounds of gay bondage coming through? Because how thick is an apartment wall? Like 8 inches?
Yeah, they're not thick at all.
So gay bondage is really going on 8 inches plus whatever, 10 feet, 8 inches away from you. Mm-hmm. You stick around? You don't go, maybe I'm going to eat this outside or take a walk? You sticking around for the show?
No. I would, because I was assuming that I was eating quickly and getting out of there. If I started hearing...
You could maintain your appetite through gay bondage?
No, I thought they had to warm up. Like, I'm eating while they're walking in.
I almost think listening to the warm-up is worse than listening to the act.
I don't know. What do they do to warm up?
I mean, people have sex, they warm up. There's a lot of fondling and touching. You're going to hear you're going to hear a belt getting unstrapped. To me, that's almost like... I always said, so when I see 2 people making out, like at a subway station or something like that, I would be more comfortable watching 2 people just get down on the floor and fuck than I am watching 2 people exchange, like, awkward, tender, like, kisses. Like, that
really
grosses me out. Fucking, I understand. Fucking is on the hierarchy of human needs. Humans need to come. I understand that. They don't need to awkwardly kiss in front of people. The sounds of foreplay really, really annoy the shit out of me, is what I'm saying.
I don't understand the need for it to be done publicly.
Fucking foreplay or kissing publicly?
Kissing publicly.
Yeah, I'm not into that's unless you're like drunk at a club or something, you suck some face. People do that, but
yeah.
So you stick around.
No, I'm getting out of there.
I've swayed you.
I didn't realize it was this intense.
It's gay bondage. How do you do that without being intense? There's no.
I know nothing about gay bondage.
Neither do I, but I assume that you're getting in there. You're not gonna have. There's no.
I thought it'd be like, ooh.
No. Imagine.
That's fierce.
Imagine the most aggressive. Shit. My screen just crashed. Oh, fantastic. Well, at least we're getting it all in here.
Pretzel.
Oh, we brought a shitload of sodies out.
I mean, if we're
Honey,
doing product placement, I got to put us on the camera.
Joey for the
Nice.
win.
Well done, boy.
Thank you, sir.
My screen just crashed. This is fucking
Video.
This fucking computer's a piece of shit. But so Joey, Kim's saying she would stick around through gay bondage.
No. I changed my answer.
You changed. You're leaving.
I'm leaving.
Because the thing is, gay bondage, compelling, gross as it is also somewhat compelling. Because how often are you around for gay bondage?
Not often enough.
And you're not in the room, so it's just you're.
I feel like it was one of those things that would be funny for not a half an hour, 5 minutes. But after too long of the gay bondage, you want to get out.
You got to tap.
I don't know if you could finish a meal during the gay bondage either. Unless you're into that.
Okay, maybe get a
Everybody's into their
preview.
own thing.
And then get out of there.
Appetite.
I don't want to see the show.
What type of door is it on the other side of?
That's a good question.
Accordion doors,
If it's
regular
French,
doors.
if it's like French doors or accordion doors, I feel like you got to get the fuck
If
out.
it's just a fucking
curtain,
curtain, like in your room,
Yeah.
that's half see-through, I would get the fuck out of there.
yeah, then you're probably being exposed to far too much. I'm slightly distracted. The good thing is we're running this on Facebook Live, so I can rip the audio from this later. But my fucking computer crashed mid-record.
Dude, you got a Dell.
Crash
Yeah.
or
happen.
is it plugged? Is it just?
Oh, it's
battery?
plugged in. It's after the bullshit Windows 10 update. My computer started absolute fucking shenanigans.
I think there's more to this than just the Windows 10 update.
I'm not gonna lie about the amount of porn that I watch on here. I'm not that kind of guy. I jack it like a fucking madman. But the thing is,
You get semen on the screen.
on numerous occasions. But I have a protective film over it.
What about on the keys?
No. Because usually the way I have it set up is that I'm sitting in my chair for a stroke, and the computer's a few feet away. So you're not
2 feet.
Yeah, you go full screen on that bad boy once you pick out your screen. Now you want to sit back, theater viewing, baby. No, the thing is, like Pornhub and all the sites right now are HTTPS's, so that's a safe site to go. You can't get a virus from Pornhub. They're all legit. It's only if you go to like some ridiculous off the beaten path site that you can get fucking hit. Let me see if I can get Audacity up and running again.
I'm gonna give the mic back to.
You want Joey hop back on? You don't like being on. You're leaving the hot seat.
I feel like you're doing a good job.
You couldn't handle.
Too hot.
That's probably what our boy said during his fucking deviant gay bondage outing.
Oh man. I love this chair.
How do you figure he's in his 50s, so his parents could at least one of them could still be around, and has to read in the Post that her son died during a gay bondage hookup gone wrong.
What if they him and his dad or something like that lost touch over the years, and or him and a sibling lost touch, and that's what you read about.
I want to, you know what?
I've been meaning to reach out to Neil.
I haven't talked to Neil Rodney in the longest time.
And they call him Neil Rodney.
Let me give him a call. Let me look him up. Let me jump on Google and see if I can find his number. And then the thing that you find is that he died with a fucking ball gag in his mouth. Oh man.
But at least you find out he was a financier.
He was a guy who died during deviant gay sex who was at least doing very well for himself.
Yeah.
Which I guess is all you can he went out. You figure if you're doing gay bondage, you're probably doing a little coke, little meth during the encounter. So he probably, though he did die, probably died in an absolute blaze of glory.
Ecstasy.